On today's show, we give your immune system a checkup, preview upcoming biopics, and
You're gonna put Brussels sprouts in my taco?
taste the latest trends in tacos.
Oh my God, the juiciest taco I've ever had.
Plus,
Here we go, Anthony Lyon. Come on, Anthony.
watch the rodeo in a whole new way.
How about that?
But first, what to eat to get better sleep. It's your life, it's your list, and it starts right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Guerrero.
And I'm Jimmy Rhodes. And when people talk about the things that could impact someone's sleep, the list usually includes things like exercise or stress management.
Yeah, but there's another very essential part of your life that could have a big effect on the quality and quantity of your rest, and that is food.
Teresa Strasser's looking at ways you can eat to improve your sleep. And that's our featured story at the top of the list.
When most folks think of food, they think of their taste buds and their waistlines. But
One thing that people haven't really thought about is how can food affect your sleep?
Dr. Michael Bruce, the sleep doctor, says knowing how to eat can help to improve your sleep. And the first thing to know is there is no one-size-fits-all diet.
Each type of dietary plan, if you will, is going to have differing effects on your sleep, right? So as an example, if you did a paleo or a keto diet where you're primarily protein-based, what you're actually going to find is your alertness level is going to go through the roof.
Carbs, on the other hand, have the opposite effect.
What happens is carbohydrates release something called serotonin in our brain, and serotonin is the calming hormone. This is why we call that stuff like mac and cheese comfort foods, because it makes us feel comfortable, right? It increases that level of serotonin.
He says having a little bit of carbs before you hit the hay can be helpful.
But you have to be limited. So what I tell people is for dinner, there's a lot of different things that you can have that are very pro-sleep. So one is anything with omegas.
Like salmon, chicken, olive oils, and plant-based proteins.
Look at some of the vegetables that you're having. So finding magnesium-rich vegetables, leafy greens, kale, spinach, things of that nature, all very positive.
Dr. Bruce says these help produce melatonin, the sleep hormone. Keep in mind that food affects your circadian rhythm.
When people are thinking about ways to use food to help them optimize their sleep, it's about timing.
This involves what he calls your sleep chronotype.
These are individual sleep schedules.
Lions are early risers, bears are in the middle, and night owls are called wolves.
Consistency really does matter here. So just like I tell people, wake up at the same time every day, if it's possible, have dinner at the same time every single evening.
This sends a signal to your brain that it's time to digest and then get ready for sleep.
The more consistent you are, the more your body knows when to sleep.
Finally, he says your meal timing affects gut health.
Your gut is the thing that is digesting all the food. So all the food comes in and then it's got to create all these enzymatic reactions. Something called your microbiome is really heavily at work.
It turns out that microbiome also runs on a circadian cycle.
What's interesting here is that you also have a gut microbiome circadian rhythm. Different than digestion, it appears to occur after digestion. So if you stop eating for 2 hours before lights out, this will allow your microbiome to receive the information as well as the mass and then be able to distribute it as it needs to.
To learn more, head to thesleepdoctor.com. The recipe for a good night's sleep is at the top of the list.
One of the great things about those tacos we all love so much, there are an almost infinite number of ways to trick them up, pick them up, and add flavor and savor. We are whipping up 3 over-the-top tacos that'll take your taste buds into new territory.
We are saying out with the old and in with the new, taco style.
You have infinity of options to throw in there. We want to step up to the next step, you know, like adding different ingredients or, you know, like traditional in any Mexican or American place.
Hector Cruz, executive chef of Diego Pops in Scottsdale, Arizona, is teaching us how to take your tacos to the next level. Starting with the grilled plantain taco.
If my grandma heard you say, I'm gonna be trendy with my tacos, she'd be like, ¿Qué?
My grandma probably slapped me right there if I say I use a plantain in a taco.
Sorry, Gramps, because the main star of this taco is the plantain.
For people who haven't tried plantains before, give us a little idea of what plantains are.
Plantains is a family from the bananas, of course, right? Which is an unriper, more starchy banana thing. So it's better if you cook it down.
If you cook it down, it really gets
If you cook
sweet.
it down, it gets sweet. Yeah, all the sugars concentrate. That's what you see, like all the caramelization from all the sugars. So it turns into a really sweet item.
All right, let's start building.
Starting with creamy beans and plantains, then
Corn salsa, which is a Mexican dish. Our house is la, which is cabbage, cilantro, and radish.
Yum.
And pickled onions.
Here we go. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with the plantain.
up next, the Brussels sprout taco.
Are you crazy? You're gonna put Brussels sprouts in my taco?
You know, everybody as kids hate them, right? And now everybody wants to eat them.
Everybody loves them.
Start with black beans, then add your Brussels sprouts and pickled onions.
What else we got? We got a little
We
cheese?
got the cheese.
Oh my gosh, I just went to town on this taco. It's ginormous.
Finally, the pepitas.
Okay, pepitas. This is also gonna give us a little crunch.
Crunch, that's our crunch on this taco.
Add your choice of sauce. We added chipotle aioli.
All right, let's dig in. You guys, this is legit real good.
Lastly, the trendiest taco out right now, the birria taco,
It's a Mexican dish from southern Mexico.
which is traditionally served with goat meat that's been slow cooked in chili spices, but you can go with shredded beef.
Boil them with the meat, and all the juices that comes from the meat drips into the consomme, which is what we use to dip the taco in.
And because the birria has tons of flavor on its own, we're keeping the topping simple with just red onions, cabbage, and chopped radishes.
What's great about this is that it comes with its own little bowl of soup.
Yes, yeah. So for the soup, we're gonna add some of these like chopped onion and cilantro.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna give it the final touch in there.
Break it down for me. We got our taco. How do we go for this?
Okay, so these tacos are messy, so get ready to get messy.
Get a little messy.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my God, the juiciest taco I've ever had.
We're digging into 3 over-the-top tacos.
This weekend at a stadium near Washington, D.C., it's all about the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo and the world's best black cowboys and cowgirls competing in front of a sold-out crowd. Eddie D. Jamal's introducing us to the wildly popular world of the Black Rodeo.
Here we go, Anthony Lyon. Come on, Anthony.
The Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo has been around for almost 4 decades.
We have sold out all of our rodeos all across the country.
We're running down all things rodeo with Valeria Howard Cunningham, the owner and promoter.
We're built on 4 generations of black cowboys and cowgirls, and to see that 4th generation preparing themselves, it's what it's all about.
Let's go back to how it started. In the 70s, Valeria's husband, Lou Vason, didn't see black cowboys at the nation's big rodeos. He researched it and said he discovered
When the Old West existed, 1 in 4 cowboys were African Americans.
in the 1920s movie The Bulldogger, you see one of those cowboys, Bill Pickett. He was the first black actor to star in a Western movie.
He was just a first. And I tell people all the time, being first is not easy. It comes with a lot of barriers and a lot of struggles that you have to overcome. So we are just so proud of what he accomplished.
Also, as a horse trainer in Oklahoma, Pickett invented bulldogging, a rodeo skill that takes down a steer. Next, this rodeo is an exciting experience for men, women, and children.
I would say my favorite event is the junior barrel racing. Just seeing these young kids having so much fun and developing their skills and being so confident. It's just exciting.
And the kids who participate know how to put on a show.
And the crowd standing to their feet, just cheering.
This crowd's into it.
It just makes your heart warm. I sit there sometimes when I'm watching this and tears just start streaming down my face.
Lou Vason passed away a few years ago, but his wife keeps his legacy alive.
He would be absolutely excited about what has been accomplished and where the rodeo is today.
Toyota sponsored this traveling museum.
Got it. Oh, how about that time?
And the rodeo was televised live on CBS. If you want to see it live, the rodeo performs in stadiums all over the country. For more info, head to BillPickettRodeo.com. Riding and roping with the Bill Pickett Rodeo.
Still to come on the list, ways to take care of your immune system.
The gut is now our second brain.
And the latest with the star of this iconic viral video.
It's yummy.
This is good.
Plus,
Miss Monroe, it's time.
see Marilyn Monroe like never before.
Marilyn Monroe only exists on the screen.
Next on the
YouTube, you are right in the middle of watching. It is rude for me to interrupt, especially because this is such a great episode. But I wanted to remind you to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Go on, do it, and then you won't miss 1 minute of the list. Okay, now back to this wonderful show.
Welcome back. And of course, it's awful to deal with any kind of health issue, but autoimmune diseases feel like a particular kind of betrayal.
Yeah, it's your own immune system that's supposed to be protecting your body, and it devotes its energy to attacking your own systems instead.
So we're looking at ways to manage autoimmune disease so it doesn't take over your life.
By now, you've probably heard of autoimmune diseases.
Autoimmune diseases are where your immune system literally attacks some part of your body. And depending on what your genes tell it to attack, that's where the attack happens.
Unfortunately, there are no cures, but
We don't have to just manage these things and suffer through with them. We can actually get our life back.
to learn how, we turn to functional medicine specialist Dr. Kylie Burton. First, we gotta identify the triggers.
Think about it as genes, right? We're gonna turn our genes on and off like a light switch. What turns on the light switch is the trigger.
Which she says can come in many forms.
In fact, 95% of autoimmune diseases are triggered by a low-grade virus. Other triggers include things like pregnancy, labor and delivery, mold exposure, food sensitivities.
So to find out your triggers, start investigating. She says you can do a food sensitivity test or head to the doc and get blood work done.
There's a marker on your regular blood work called lymphocytes. If that marker is above 30%, your body's fighting a low-grade virus.
And work with your doctor to see what steps you can take to remedy it.
When you can identify the triggers and then remove them, that's when you can start healing.
Now it's time to calm the immune system.
My favorite is vitamin D. Your immune system has to have vitamin D to do its job.
For a standard adult dosage, she recommends
For the summer months, 10,000 IUs of vitamin D. For the winter months, 20,000.
Besides vitamin D, she suggests taking probiotics and omega-3s.
Probiotics will feed the good guys in your gut, and omega-3s, that's anti-inflammatory. Those three key components will really help calm the immune system down.
Finally, it's time to rehab the gut.
So many people like to talk about the gut. And if you were to dive into it, you're going to understand that the gut is now our second brain.
So we better take care of it. And to do this, she recommends taking a prebiotic as well as your probiotic.
Prebiotics are literally just food for the bacteria, and you can usually get them in fermented foods or supplementation.
She says it's basically feeding the good guys so your gut can work more efficiently.
After all, your immune system is your gut.
Eating right to help treat autoimmune disease.
Guys, it is time to brighten your day with some positivity. Now, these stories have captivated millions on social media, and they will remind you kindness wins. All right, first up, we introduce you to Jimmy Kellogg, better known as Jimmy Darts. He's a TikTok star from Minnesota who's popular for going undercover to help out others.
You want the free gas? All right, let's get it, baby.
Whether it's by paying for people's gas or groceries, handing out large tips,
We'll give each barber here a $100 tip. Appreciate it, bro. All right, bless you guys.
or rewarding those who say yes when he asks them for a small favor, like getting him something to eat.
It's $1,000 for you. I was seeing the first person to buy me food. I was seeing the first person to give me some ice cream. Wow. Yeah, you're amazing, bro. What do you think you'll spend the cash on? I'll buy something for my wife.
The cash comes from his social media earnings from his platform of about 9 million followers, from sponsors and through donations submitted on his website, jimmydarts.com. So incredible. All right, at number 2, we check in with Tariq, the young boy who got the internet to agree on one simple thing, that corn's pretty great.
I mean, then look at this then. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's corn. Look at this.
It's corn!
Yes, the 7-year-old from New York became a viral sensation for his interview on the YouTube channel Recess Therapy. The interview was then remixed into a song by the popular quartet, the Gregory Brothers. And the latest, oh man, this is so cool. He's now South Dakota's official corn ambassador.
It's me.
What a sweet boy. All right, guys, we wrap it up with one wholesome TikTok dating application.
Hello, I'm currently looking for a +1 to accompany my 15-year-old daughter, her friend, and myself to Kings Island.
Chris Kozad lives in Ohio and is a single dad of 3. Now, he went on to explain that his ideal date had to be a non-smoker and also a fan of roller coasters.
And someone who's as much fun as me. Don't let the gray hairs in the beard fool you. I do also have the dad bod to go with it.
The clip got over 3 million views, and thousands of applicants later, he found his +1.
I was the lucky winner, but this here is my friend Stephanie, who has accompanied me to Kings Island today.
And that's another win for Cupid. Very cool. And those are 3 stories that show kindness wins. Lots more coming up. Stay with us.
Welcome back. And on today's watch list, the highly anticipated Netflix movie Blonde about Marilyn Monroe drops tomorrow. But that's not the only biopic fans are excited about. Teresa Strasser takes us through some of the upcoming films immortalizing notable figures. Take a look.
Biographical films have built-in familiarity for audiences.
That's something that's always a source of really enduring fascination, and usually means that these films do have pretty significant box office.
Talking about upcoming biopics to look out for is executive managing editor at IndieWire, Christian Blovelt. Starting off with Blonde.
Miss Monroe, it's time! You think of the 1950s, Marilyn Monroe comes to mind, like she is the 1950s. This film is really going to try to look beyond the icon and find the human.
I know you're supposed to get used to it, but I just can't.
Critics have been raving about Ana de Armas' performance as Marilyn.
This is her biggest star role yet.
Marilyn Monroe only exists on the screen.
You can catch Blonde tomorrow on Netflix. Up next, Till.
This was my boy, Emmett Till.
Till is the story of Emmett Till, a 14-year-old boy who was killed by a mob of white racists in Mississippi in 1955.
Can I at least just fix him up a bit?
No, they have to see it for themselves.
Produced by Whoopi Goldberg, this movie features Danielle Deadweiler as the educator and activist Mamie Till Mobley, who shook up the nation's consciousness in pursuit of justice for her son.
This is one of those stories that really gets to you.
The lynching of my son has shown me that what happens to any of us, anywhere in the world, had better be the business of us all.
Till releases in theaters October 14th. And finally, Emily.
Emily, how did you write Wuthering Heights?
Emma Mackey portrays Emily Bronte, a rebel and misfit, as she finds her voice and writes the literary classic Wuthering Heights.
This is a very modern kind of character, someone who you could really relate to today.
Freedom and thought!
Freedom and thought!
Emma Mackey has been so great for the past few years on sex education to bring some of that life, some of that 2022 sensibility to this legendary author. That's going to be really meaningful.
You're supposed to be an artist, so be an artist.
It's coming to the UK October 14th and will be in the US next year. Biopics to look out for on the watch list.
Ooh, I love a good biopic. Also impressive names behind the camera, right?
Yeah, famous names producing, like Whoopi Goldberg on Till, Brad Pitt for Blonde. I guess actors get tired of playing nice and eventually they want to be the big boss.
Yeah, I want to be the big boss. One day I'm going to rule this show with an iron fist.
Yikes, that's very scary. Speaking of assertive types, the nicest and the rudest cities are last on our list. That's next.
Welcome back, friends. It is time for What's Last on Our List. Now, one thing I pride us on, our kindness. We are courteous, thoughtful. I mean, just ask us how nice we are and we'll talk about it all day long.
Not to mention our humility.
That's right, but rude, we are not. Same can't be said for some cities in the good old US of A. A recent study asked Americans to rank the rudeness of their city, and people were not shy about airing their dirty laundry.
Okay, I'm from Detroit, and I'm kind of scared to ask.
Oh, Jimmy, ye of little faith. But yeah, bad news for you. Detroit is the 6th rudest city in America, and that's according to Detroiters. You'd think they'd drop in the rankings once you moved away.
Thanks.
Not so much. Good news, though, there are 5 cities even ruder than your hometown. Coming in at number 1, Philadelphia. Aren't they the city of brotherly love?
Trust me, I have 7 older brothers, and brotherly love often includes noogies and wedgies. Okay. But I do love the headline in the Philadelphia Inquirer, is Philly the rudest U.S. city? Only if you're a whiny baby. We're not rude, we're honest, there's a difference, fools.
Oh, charming.
Perfect.
Also in the top 5, Memphis, New York City, Las Vegas, and Boston. Now, the most common rude behavior cited, being absorbed by their phones, refusing to let people in traffic, and being noisy in shared places.
Okay, KG, let's flip it, though, to the most polite cities in America, which include San Diego, Nashville, Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Denver, all cities that air the list. Can't be a coincidence, right?
I don't think so. We make cities nicer, and that's what's last on our list.
YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. You know that toy surprise you'd get in your cereal when you made it all the way through the box? Yeah, well, we don't know how to give you a plastic toy through YouTube yet. But if we did, that's what you'd be getting right now. Maybe that's a Web 3.0 thing. Anyway, please like this video, leave us a comment, and subscribe. It really helps us out, and we want to hear from you. And hey, it may not be a temporary tattoo or a super bouncy ball, but here's your prize. More episodes of The List, huh? Enjoy.